Well, I don't think anyone has ever expected me to make a video like this lately. For the past year or so, all I've done is Nintendo videos and a few from real life. But here, I'm going to be ranking a top 10 Bob's Burgers episode. This is my favorite cartoon ever. And today I compiled my list of my favorite episodes of all time. Number 10 is The Kids Run the Restaurant. This episode is from season 3, and it's all about Tina, Gene, and Louise running the restaurant while Bob and Linda are gone. Bob's finger crotch, as they call it, is cut open, and he needs to go to a doctor, but the doctor is new, and he's not a very good one at that. However, the better part of this episode is when the kids are running the restaurant, but they turn an underground casino there. They get all the kids over town to help them with it by promoting it. Even Zeke is the guard, I thought it was pretty funny. And then you have the kids running the casino. Eventually, Mr. Fischoeder, the landlord, shows up, and he places bets on things like rock, paper, scissors, and in order to not lose a bunch of money, what Mr. Fischoeder and Bob do is they do one last rock, paper, scissors to see if they're able to get their money back, and they actually do it because Bob does scissors when Mr. Fischoeder doesn't expect him to do that. I thought that was pretty funny. It's definitely one of my favorite episodes. Number 9 is Broadcast Wagstaff School News. In this episode, we see that Tina has become a new person on the Wagstaff Elementary School News. And here, she's trying to find interesting info to dig up for the school news. She finds out there's a mad pooper on the loose. It's a pretty hilarious concept in of itself, because the ways they get the mad pooper to go is pretty funny, where he goes. We eventually learn at the end that it's actually Zeke, but my favorite part of this episode is with Gene, because he's dressing up as Bob, and he's acting like him, he's talking like him. It was hilarious, and it's crazy how strikingly similar the two look. It was a very good episode, and it was very funny, and this one also comes from season 3, one of the best seasons. Number 8 is Tinosaurus Rex. Would you look at that, another season 3 episode. In this one, Bob and Tina are driving, and Bob has Tina drive out the car in an empty lot, and she hits the one car in the entire lot, and it's so empty, and no one's in it, and it's hilarious because of how drawn out it is. And we find out it was Jimmy Pesto, Bob's rival's car, across the street. And what Bob needs to do is get an insurance guy, and his name is Chase, but Chase is actually committing insurance fraud, and when he has his house set on fire because he lets Tina at the grill. Tina can be a bit annoying in this episode because for the entirety of it, she almost foils the whole thing because Bob and Tina are in a big lie, but you can't really blame her in this episode. It's still a very funny one, and the way they use Gene's keyboard to get it to court and to get Chase to confess what happened was pretty creative. And I also like the scene where they pretend where the kids drowned, but they actually didn't. So yeah, that was a really funny one. And number 7, we have a season 9 episode, not a season 3 one, is Better Off Sled. And in this episode, the Belcher kids are trying to go sledding, but Logan and the other annoying teens aren't letting them. So what they do is they plow the snow, and they got this other girl who's on the basketball team, and it's regular size Rudy's cousin, to help them. And eventually, in the end, there are a bunch of people who want to hit snowballs at Logan, a bunch of the girls from the different sports teams, which is pretty funny. But then we have Bob and Linda trying to compete to make better scarves for the kids for Christmas, and Bob does a really good job at it, Linda not so much. And then Linda has a nightmare where she dreamed her scarf was choking her, but then Bob said that it couldn't do that because it was so short. This is the first episode I watched of the entire series, and it was hilarious, and for that reason I put it on this list. Number 6 is Father of the Bob, a season 5 episode here. In this one, the Belcher family go to visit Bob's father, Big Bob, at Big Bob's Diner. We find out about Bob's past and how when he was younger, he created the very first burger of the day called Baby You Can Chive My Car. And it was a pretty creative one because it was one with you had lettuce. He had parts of I believe it was pickles, and he used as the wheels and toothpicks as axles. And people liked it, but Big Bob didn't. In this episode, Bob and Big Bob grow a better connection. In the meantime, the kids are going through Big Bob's basement, to try and find things to get Bob for Christmas. And Tina makes a really crazy chair. Jean is just in a bean soup, which is hilarious, and I really enjoyed it. And it's nice to see a different diner instead of just the normal Bob's Burgers restaurant for once. Number 5 is Glued, Where's My Bob? This is one from season 6, and this is my favorite season 6 episode, and it's also the 100th episode of the show. It is my favorite song out of any episode. Bad Stuff Happens in the Bathroom. It's a really good song, and it's one of the most famous ones in the entire series, and I really like it. In this one, Bob gets glued to a toilet when he has a big interview, and everyone in the entire show comes to see that. The kids from school, all the local restaurateurs, and all of their friends, they all come to see. And it's a really good episode because it feels so grand. Like, if the show ever ended, which I really hope it doesn't, this would have been a really good one to end it on, but I'm glad it keeps going on. But anyways, it's still a really good episode, and I really like how cinematic it is. In fact, I'd say it's the most cinematic episode to come out of the series, aside from the movie, which is coming up soon. Number 4 is The Haunting. This is another season 6 one, but it is the highest rated episode of them all. It's also the best Halloween episode, considered by many, including myself. And in this one, Bob and Linda set up a pretty scary haunted house for the kids to scare Louise because she wants to be scared. It doesn't work, but then they make a really scary one. They have things like a baby doll with a twig in its head. They turn the lights off, and then they think that someone was going to slice them when they're trapped inside of this haunted house that they rented. And there's a ring of fire surrounding it, but then they reveal to Louise that it was all a trick, and Louise is so happy she's finally scared. It's a really good episode, and I really like the twist at the end, and I was absolutely blown away the first time I saw it. Number 3 is Eat, Spray, and Linda. This one is all about Linda's birthday. However, she loses her keys, she loses her wallet, her money, pretty much her phone, everything. And she's having just an absolutely terrible day. She gets lost in the field, she gets sprayed by a skunk. In the meantime, Bob, the kids, and even Teddy are trying to find Linda. They go to all over town trying to find the places where Linda goes with the kids. For example, she goes to a fancy Royal Oyster Hotel with the kids, with Tina, but she only uses it for the bathroom, and which is pretty funny. You get a fun song out of it. Louise is the puppy place where they have these cute animals. And then with Jean, that was the best one in my opinion. It was the place where Linda went to get free samples with Jean. And you see a list of banned people, and Linda is banned because she took too much of the free samples there. And we see a list of other people who are banned, and one of them is a baby, and the person at the desk says that they got him banned because he's just a jerk, which is pretty funny. It's definitely one of my favorites. Number 2 is Christmas in the Car. Now, Christmas in the Car is a season 4 one, and there are only 2 season 4 episodes on this list, but they're my 2 favorite episodes of the entire series. In this one, the family's going out because they need to get a tree, but it's not their first Christmas tree, nor is it their second. It's their third one because they got one after Halloween, Linda did, and then one after Thanksgiving, which was a hilarious scene, which I really enjoyed. And then after that, when they go out, there's this guy in a candy cane truck who's a maniac chasing them down. Linda gets a Dutch baby thing at a restaurant, which is a really hilarious scene. And Linda says the Dutch baby's a preemie like Jesus when it arrives early. That was hilarious. And then they're having this long rant when they were in the car trying to hide from the guy. Jean was talking about how he's the best legs in the family, and that was pretty funny. But then it turns out the guy was just trying to get home for Christmas, and he was having a bad day. That was an interesting twist, and I really love this episode. Oh, and I almost forgot. Teddy gets stuck in a Christmas wreath that the kids are doing to trap Santa, and Teddy's stuck under the fridge, and at the end we get this hilarious scene where Teddy cares more about Bob reading his Christmas card than him getting unstuck from the fridge. And number 1 is Slumber Party, my favorite episode of the series, also season 4, like I said. In this one, you have Louise. She's having a slumber party, but she doesn't want one, but Linda makes one for her. So many hilarious scenes in this episode. You have the scene where Linda's talking to her friends, Ginger, on the phone, about these raccoons in the alley, Little King Trashmouth and El Diablo, and they're fighting. You have the scene where she tells Bob that the raccoon likes wine. You have the scene where you see all the crazy kids that get invited to Louise's slumber party. You have one who always talks. There's a girl who's a germaphobe. There's one who always braids things, including mops. And then there's the girl who just seems normal, but it turns out that she has a twist to her, and she ends up being good friends with Louise. And then when they're trying to find her, she has to when Jean says she's hiding behind curtain number 1, which is really funny. And then you're trying to get a burger to lure the raccoon into the cage, which is really funny. It's a hilarious episode, and this episode perfectly encapsulates everything I love about the show. All the characters are so interesting and funny. So many incredible one-liners. Thank you for watching. I want to do more weird videos like this. They're different in the future. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.